Hello, students. Today we're going to be talking about how to layer our images for Scratch by breaking down each section of our text so that we can animate it later in Scratch. And we're going to just basically be saving each section as an individual PNG within our Google Drive. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to drive.google.com and you're going to go into your technology folder. Again, if you haven't created one, you need to do so by just going up to New and clicking on Folder. And you should title it Technology 2020-21 so that you can keep everything here. I've already created my Text on a Page Ad Campaign folder. So if you haven't done that already, you should probably do that by, again, going up to New and Folder. And then within your Text on a Page Ad Campaign folder, you're going to basically create a folder for your PNGs. So again, go up to New, click on Folder, and title it PNGs. This is where we're going to save each of our PNGs just to make it easier to upload later into Scratch. The next thing you're going to want to do is just basically start breaking down your ad into the different layers that you want to animate in Scratch. There's no right way to do this. It's really up to you how many layers you want to do. For example, if you're looking at my ad, I could just take this whole line and make this one PNG. I could also separate it out if I wanted to. So maybe like this glides in and then this glides in. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have this as a separate PNG as well as this text box as well as this image. So you got to kind of think about like what you want to happen in terms of the motion and things kind of popping in with your animation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy and I'm going to save it in my drive just because it'll make it easier if for some reason if my computer glitches out, like maybe my Wi-Fi is spotty, because as I'm kind of going through and separating things out, I'm going to be deleting pieces. And if for some reason drawings closes, I want to make sure that I can undo those changes. So I'm just going to save this really quickly in my drive and in my technology folder. So you can basically click on these arrows to access that. The other option is you can always go to your version history because any type of Google Suite basically maintains every single version and edit that you ever make. This includes Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drawings, Google Slide Decks. Basically these arrows, like if you click on them, it'll pull up every single edited version that I've made each day. So don't fret if for some reason, your stuff does get deleted. It's fine because literally the entire document cannot get deleted unless you manually throw it in the trash. So there's always a backup. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to work backwards. I'm going to download this whole thing as a PNG just because I might want to play around with this. And I'm going to make this number 9 because I've kind of changed my numbering system based on the fact I'm going to break down that top box into actually 2 text boxes. So I'm going to save that into my PNG folder in Drive. And then I'm going to just kind of start working backwards and deleting things so that I can isolate everything. The one thing you do want to do, I found, is you do want to actually change your background to transparent. Because that way when you're uploading it, it's actually a vector and it doesn't save your background. So you can see, like, I know it's really hard to see the white, but it is there. So I've isolated just that text box and I'm going to download this as PNG number 8. And I'm just going to continue with each section, downloading each piece. So I'm going to click Control Z to bring everything back. Now I want to isolate this text box. So I'm going to delete everything but that. Whoops. You can always undo if you make a mistake by clicking Control Z, no big deal. I'm going to change the background to solid, transparent. Click Download, PNG. This is going to be number 7 for me. But it's being very slow, so I'm going to try it again. Click Save, Control Z to undo everything. Now I want this text box isolated, so I'm going to delete everything but that. Oops. Just going to highlight it. Click background, solid, transparent, download as PNG. Undo by clicking Control Z. Now I've decided I'm actually going to make these two images pop in at the same time, the white box with my image of the student. So I'm going to delete just the text boxes this time. And make sure you click on that blue line, because if you're not on the blue line, it'll actually delete your words inside the box. So just be careful of that. Click that. I'm going to change my background once more to transparent. Download this as a PNG. Make it number 5. Click save. Click undo. Now I want, I'm going to actually separate these out. So I'm going to delete everything but that text box. I'm going to go ahead and change my background to transparent. And then I'm going to actually make these two separate text boxes because I want them to kind of move in separately when I'm coding them in Scratch. So I'm going to just move this around, format it so that it fits back as it was, but as a separate text box. And then that way, I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to click download as a PNG, make this number 4, save it, click undo, delete this one, download as a PNG, save it as number 3, and then undo. I'm going to just go ahead and bring everything back to make things easier. And now I actually want to save my background as well. So I'm going to click on download PNG. Obviously, I don't need to change the background. And I'm going to make this number 2. The reason why is because I actually do have a start button as well that I'm going to show you in just a moment. And so the numbering system doesn't really matter that much because as long as you're aware of which piece is which piece in what order as you've uploaded them as sprites, that's kind of all that matters.